you go. That's Jay-Z for y'all right there. So, okay, so we're gonna pick up with steps. I'm gonna change the view. It's behind me, you probably can't see it because it's kind of tight on the ship. So there's a big old. I think that's a shark. Yeah, look like a shark. Yeah, swimming with sharks today. There you go. Got the background of the fish. And we're going to pick up where we left off at because I know your time is short and got a lot of stuff to talk about today. So I'm switching views here. Backgrounds. Alright, so going back to open accounts. That's what we're going to. Open accounts. We was talking about on the last video about if you have no credit, you're dead, you don't exist. So my suggestion is go get some. Okay? So I mentioned getting a self-lender credit card in the last video. Go to selflender.com, get a secured credit card, well, get a secure loan first, then get the secured credit card, and then bam, credit score go up through the roof or go up a lot more depending on what's on your credit report. All right, and then I got an example here. If you're trying to buy a home or a car, they'll pull the different credit systems. All right, so the reason why, I have to explain this stuff because a lot of people don't know. The reason why I suggest you get both, get a loan and get a credit card, because a lot of people normally just have one. They'll just have a credit card and they say, look, I don't want to get in debt in a loan, which is cool financially, but then the problem you have is, and that's why I have the example, if you're trying to buy a house, the mortgage company is more concerned about your loan history. In other words, do you have a good history of paying back loans? Well, if you don't have no loans on your credit report, then you have no loan history, which means the mortgage credit system, they have different credit types. They have car loan credit systems, they got mortgage credit systems, they got credit card credit systems. So bottom line, you want to be good on all of them, don't matter. But bottom line, you need to have at least one or two loans, and you need to have at least one or two credit cards. Okay, now the magic number to have like the best score or a good score is three credit cards at least. They just like to see you. My wife, she like to say juggle. Okay, that's a good example. They want to see you juggle different debts. But bottom line, my suggestion is if you're trying to buy a house, you need to have at least one or two loans. Now, you ain't gonna take out no major debt like a car loan or $10,000 loan. I mean, yeah, if you need the money, fine. But if you just got a couple secure loans for a couple $100 or a couple $1,000, that's good. Pay it on time for at least a year. Anytime you can pay something on time for at least a year, two tops, you done figured it out. You good. Okay. So just letting you know, if you don't have no credit, you need to go get some loans or credit cards. Okay. Pay them on time. All right. And then if you don't pay them on time, listen to the first video. We was talking about steps to having good credit on what you need to do to try to get it straightened out. All right. Next one. If you're trying to get credit cards, they're looking for your credit card history. That's what I was telling you before. And I have to look at my notes because it's a lot that we're talking about. Can't remember everything. But like I said on the first video, it's kind of early. So I'm doing what I can before we get out of here, say goodbye to the ship, and get back on land. The next strategy is don't max out your credit cards. When you get your credit cards, the credit system penalizes you when you go over 30%. So, for example, if you had a $1,000 credit card, don't go over $300. Okay? So, bottom line, don't max out your credit cards. In other words, you get them and then on a $1,000 credit card, you spend $900. Now, if you paid it off every month, okay, cool. No big deal. It's not going to report anything because you're paying it off every month. But bottom line, if you're trying to keep your credit score at maximum points or as high as you can get it, just don't go over 30%. Okay. Next thing, they like to see if you can pay your bills on time, 6 months to a year. The longer the better. That's what I was saying before. The credit system loves when you pay your bills on time consistently, and if you did it for a year or two, you get an A+, so to speak, or you have a high credit score. Nobody cares, and a lot of people think that because they had bad credit 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years ago, they can't get no more credit. No. They love for you to borrow money, and they love for you to stick you with a higher interest rate because of your old history. But bottom line, they don't care what you did 10 years ago. It's about what you did over the last 12 to 24 months. Even if you screwed up, that's fine. You're more profitable to the banks. What happens is, that's what I see with a lot of people credit. What they'll do is they'll go buy a car, and because they didn't understand the credit system, they had a couple hiccups 2 or 3 years ago, and the banks are like, oh, you know, you had that repo, oh, you know, you had that collection, oh, you know, you screwed up, oh, you did this, you went through divorce, whatever it is, yeah, whatever. But bottom line, they want you to have some hiccups because you're more profitable. So when you have, now they don't want you to screw up too much. Bottom line, if you had some bankruptcy, stuff like that, they just charge you a higher interest rate. So if you was perfect, never been late, did everything right, never late to class, did everything perfect, then they charge you a lower interest rate, but you're not very profitable. So they say, look, we want you to have some hiccups because we can make more money off of you. So instead of charging you 3% on this car note, we're going to charge you 8%. Or if you real bad, 30%. And I've seen some 30%, Lord have mercy, 30% interest on car notes. Man. But yeah, you're more profitable if you're bad and you have some bad history. So my suggestion to you is get your score up as high as you can get it before you go buy anything. Okay? And now, what's the magic credit score? Bottom line, to be honest with you, if you're in the high 6s, that's good. But we have a term called the 700 club. Once you get to 700, you pretty much get anything you want. 750 is like, you're perfect. A good perfect. You know, it's great. You know. Now, do you really have to have a 750 credit score to get, okay, yeah, I mean, ain't that big of a deal to me. It's like, yay, you got great credit. Yeah, you borrowed a bunch of money and you paid it on time. I mean, I'm not excited about that. I'm not excited about borrowing a bunch of money, being in debt. I'm not excited about that. Now, sometimes you do need to borrow money. Okay, fine, cool. But, you know, bottom line, you just want to have good credit. So if you plan on buying stuff, like car loans, houses, yeah, you definitely want to have good credit so you don't overpay for it. But hey, think about it. What if you just pay cash? I mean, if you was to save up $10,000, $20,000 and just go into the car lot and pay cash, that's even better than borrowing, you know. But hey, if you can't, then I understand. Just don't overpay on a loan. All right, and then wrapping up here because we're done. We'll switch over to the next video when I get a minute. So, what are we talking about today? And I started off with steps. Here we go, steps. We talked about steps. Steps to having good credit. So having good credit is not hard. You just need to know how to have it, what to do to have it. And I mean, we all make mistakes. Trust me, when I talk to people, I tell them I was the king of bad credit. You can't beat me when it comes to bad credit. Credit's horrible. Woo, like 400, ridiculous. I mean, I hardly ever see people with a 400 credit score. I mean, if I do, it's like, hey, I've been there, done that. But bottom line, I know how to get to 700. And you just need to pay your bills on time. That's what we're talking about, paying your bills on time. And look, we all make mistakes. And the whole thing, even in the Bible, says, my people are destroyed because of lack of knowledge. So a lot of us just don't know what to do in Hosea. That's what it says in Hosea. And then bottom line, you know, the reason why I put these videos together and I try to make it fun and entertaining, because I know when you're dealing with financial stuff, it's depressing. I know it's upsetting. Like, I don't know what I did wrong. I don't know why I did it. Okay, look, that's the past. You know, that's why I picked that song, Let It Go, the Frozen, Let It Go, the first one on the first video I did, Let It Go, because that's what you got to do, let it go. Move on. And basically put together your plan for good credit, and that's why I'm putting these videos together. So hey, I hope y'all enjoyed it. And let me get back to my little song for the end of the video, which on this one it's Run This Town. Run this town right. All right, talk to y'all in a minute. Next video.